everybody, I am AR and what I watched today is Book 3, Chapter 17 of Avatar Last Airbender, The Ember Island Players. As we open the episode, we find the team hiding out in the last place anyone would think to look for them, the Fire Lord's summer home on Ember Island. And it is brilliant. I mean, the last time we saw this place was a few episodes ago, well, actually close to the beginning of the season, when Zuko and crew came here for vacation, and like he said, nobody's been here for years. Nobody bothers to come to this summer home. So it's completely logical that no one's going to find them there. Sokka and Suki arrive with news of a play about the Avatar, the sources of which include a surprisingly knowledgeable seller of cabbage. Love that nod to the cabbage seller guy. He's one of my favorite recurring characters. And it is, of course, being put on by the titular Ember Island Players. Katara doubts the wisdom of going to a play about themselves, but Sokka points out that this is exactly the wacky time-wasting nonsense he's been missing, in a very meta moment. I mean, yeah, it has been a while since we've gotten just a wacky little time-wasting episode like this, so it is kind of fun to see. As the play starts, we find it's a very comical, exaggerated portrayal of events, with Sokka none too happy about how he's portrayed. At the start, at least, he's a one-joke walking stomach, which really sums up his character in a very distilled form. Katara's character is all talking about hope and mopey and weepy. And when they get to the reveal of Aang is shocked to find out that he's played by a woman, which was a common thing. Playing little kids, like little kids being played by women who are either small stature or young themselves. And I kind of like the reference to classical theater. And they even reference the first episode's title in this first scene, The Boy in the Iceberg. So far, the only one enjoying the play openly is Toph, and Zuko's just kind of moping in his seat and being nice and silent. Until his actor appears, and then Zuko complains like, "I'm not stiff and humorless." I laughed with Katara at this point. Because really, yeah, that's the most distilled version of his character from the first season. He was stiff and humorless, and just like Zuko. The next moment they butcher is Momo, and they have a delightfully bad puppet. And then we move on to Suki's entrance, and get a stupid Sokka joke that makes the real Suki just giggle. The next scene is a quick rehash of the water-bending scroll, and it makes Katara cringe as her character continues on with the "oh, hope, cry," etc. And then we get a different version of Zuko's Blue Spirit rescue, where this time the general has been written out more or less, and Zuko is the one who captured Aang. At the same time, we know that Zuko is the Blue Spirit, so he's also rescuing Aang. Both boys cringe as the girl Aang acts it up and just jumps on the Blue Spirit's head and is like, "My hero!" And then the Blue Spirit carries her off on his head. It's become clear. So yeah, at this point, it's pretty clear that they wanted to make a satire of themselves, which is brilliant. They took the most distilled down character traits of their characters, recreated all the key scenes, and at the same time, they've done a really good job of keeping it from getting annoying, because we still have the main characters to act as a foil. And that's what you need when you're making a spoof like that, is a foil, a straight character, the straight man who helps us see how ridiculous everything is, and laugh at it in comparison. Because if everything's ridiculous, then none of it is. It's kind of like, honestly, no movies come to mind, but there are some movies out there where it's like constant wackiness, over and over and over and over, and every character is like big and larger than life, and woo! And it's like, yeah, those get boring because there's nothing to compare it to. They're just the normal of the movie. Last Action Hero, that's a good one. It's like, yeah, all the characters are the big tropes, and yeah, we have that straight man kid, but it's not as funny because he's just pointing out the tropes as they exist in that world. The jet scene is kind of hilarious. I mean, 'cause they just have him casually wipe out the town, and Katara's like, "Ooh, Jet, you so bad." And I'm like, wow, that's a different take on that. They skip right over the Great Divide and onto a love scene with Miss Moon Spirit Yue. Saka gets really into this scene, and Suki gets a little jealous when he shushes her, and he's like, shh, 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 important scene. And Suki's just like, did you just shush me? Aang's Moonfield rampage is turned into just a little joke scene made silly by the troupe and their actors. We get a brief intermission with everyone complaining, and this is how they break up the sections, the seasons, with these intermissions. And again, another brilliant move by the people who made this show. I am loving this episode. And everyone's complaining about how they've been shown, but Toph maintains her positive attitude about the whole thing. As they go back inside, Toph finally hears her actor. It's a huge, muscle-bound dude. And just as Katara is leaning in, going, it's like, see, Toph, it's not fun, is it? Toph praises him. She's like, I couldn't have done the casting better myself. This is brilliant. And I love Toph's attitude about the whole thing. Like, she is just loving it. She's like, yeah, that is so me. And it just fits with her character to be so casual about it. She's just like, she loves it, and it is so well written. And the play's version of Toph claims that she sees with her mouth, using echolocation, and basically just yells really loudly at the other actors. And it's a really effective joke, and really, they couldn't have done a good joke with the whole feet thing, so I'm glad that they were just like, you know what? Let's just do something really silly with this. Jet's brainwashing is blamed on the Earth King, and then given a very confusing end with a fake rock. Like, the character's just like, is he dead? I think so. That was confusing. Which admittedly made me laugh at the scene. And then they get the recreation of Zuko and Katara's moment in the Crystal Caves. They turn it into a romance scene, making fun of the Avatar, causing Zuko and Katara to be super uncomfortable, and Aang just leaves in a huff. Pardon me. Zuko's choice to side with his sister is also handled with just no tact at all. And he even calls the Iroh stand-in some really juvenile names. And, like, this seems to really hurt Zuko, like, you know, throwing again his betrayal in his face. They do Aang's death scene, and then we get, of course, another intermission, because that's where the season ended. Katara realizes that Aang's not there, and goes to look for him outside. At this point, Sokka turns to Suki and is like, hey, can you sneak me backstage? I want to teach me how to play me. And she's like, yeah, sure, I can do that. And off they go. And we get a really great speech from Zuko about why it hurts him so much, the way this play is just throwing every bad decision he's ever made back in his face. And he has a really touching moment with Toph as she tells him, Iroh would be proud of you. She talks about the one time she had tea with Iroh and he did nothing but talk about Zuko and how proud he was of him. And this really touching scene gets ended by a bit of comedy, as a kid in a Aang costume runs over and goes, hey, nice Zuko costume, but your scar's on the wrong side, and then leaves. And of course Zuko's like, my scar is not on the wrong side, because he's the real deal. And yeah, the actor playing him had it on the wrong side, so it's a funny little nod in the episode. And Sokka, like, you know, he gets backstage and he gets to his actor and he's like, you know what, you're good, but I'm a Sokka fan and I think I can help you. At first the actor's just brushing him off, he's like, oh, another fan? Dude, just leave me alone. But then Sokka gets him to read some of his jokes, and he loves them. Suki at first, like when Sokka's getting brushed off, is like, told you so. But then, you know, when they start palling around and having fun and getting over the jokes, Suki's like, he actually likes those bad jokes? I mean, you know, she loves Sokka, but even she knows he is a dolt sometimes. We then go outside to Aang and Katara. Aang admits he's hurt because the Katara on stage called him a little brother. And so he asks Katara about her feelings, mentioning, you know, it's like, why aren't we together? We kissed at the invasion. And Katara makes a very good point here. You know, it's like they are at war. She doesn't really know what her feelings are, and she needs time to figure them out. She needs the war to be over so that she can, you know, look at things objectively. She can't give him an answer right now, and he needs to respect that. And this is a thing that really pissed me off now, because this is the moment where Aang just kisses her. And of course, Katara rightfully storms off. I mean, when a girl says she doesn't know, give her time. You don't kiss your man. Respect her. I get that Aang's a little kid. Like, it's only been a few months since the series really started in universe. But it's still, with all the growth we've gotten from him over the 3 seasons, it really just pisses me off that he did this. I mean, I get it, but from my perspective, I didn't like it, and he got what he deserved. He got Katara mad at him. And as they rejoin the group, Aang slumps over in his seat. Like, you can tell he knows he did the wrong move. And hopefully they'll clear this up later. And we find out that we missed most of the Fire Nation. They just skipped over it, and Sokka's just like, yep, we've skipped over this, and this, and this. We're on the invasion now. And Sokka loses his mind as the onstage Sokka starts using the lines he gave him and the jokes. The play catches up to our present, and then moves on to a fake confrontation with the Fire Lord. Zuko and Azula have a final streamer dance battle. That ends with Zuko dying with one last yell of honor. Next, the Avatar and the Fire Lord have a streamer dance battle. Naturally, as this is a Fire Nation play, the Fire Lord stands triumphant. And of course, there is a standing ovation from everyone except for the Avatar crew. The episode ends with the Avatar crew leaving, going, man, that play sucked. And Sokka, like a lot of movie apologists, being like, but the effects were really good. Anyhow, I love this episode. It was a great satire, and other than Aang's little misstep, the characters were all awesome. I'll see you guys next time as we start the 4-part finale. I can't wait.